Thanks for stopping by today. I'm so excited you're here. If you've watched any of our videos, you may know by now that I have a thing for mayonnaise. Anything with mayonnaise, I'm all on that. And so anytime I get a chance to make a sauce for a dip, a dressing that includes mayonnaise, I'm going to do it. And today we're making dairy-free, gluten-free spinach dip. I have always loved spinach dip. But then when I had to go dairy-free, I was like, well, I didn't love it as much because I couldn't add the sour cream or the Parmesan cheese, or some people even put mozzarella in theirs. And so I was missing that depth of flavor. So as we go through this recipe and you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, that's a lot of ingredients for a spinach dip. Know this. We can't have dairy. We miss that entire flavor profile. So we have to add a lot of other ingredients to bring that flavor level up, give us a depth of flavor, and create a spinach dip that not only we love, but our whole family and our guests will love. So we don't always have to have two dishes at any given event. You know, here's the dairy-free spinach dip, and here's the, the dairy-full spinach dip. So we're going to go through this. It really is easy. A lot of ingredients, but very easy process. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to sweat all of our veggies, and then we're going to cook our spinach. So let's head over to the stove and get that done. So I've heated some olive oil in my saute pan here, and the first thing I'm adding is the garlic. Then I'm going in with the carrots, shallot. I like using shallot instead of onion. It gives it a little bit more, a little milder flavor, a little sweeter, milder flavor than a yellow onion or even a red onion. Roasted red pepper. And water chestnuts, which is a great ingredient to bring lots of crunch to this spinach dip. So I'm going to saute this up till they're soft. I don't want any color whatsoever. I'm going to add a smidgen of salt and pepper at this stage. You always want to season as you go, not at the end, not at the beginning, but throughout the entire process. Okay, it's been I'd say about 3 minutes or so. Onions are softened. Things are starting to soften a little more. Now we're going to get the spinach in here and start cooking that. And all of this is going to cook at the same time the spinach is cooking or wilting. So that will be good. Now you may have to put this in batches because it's a lot of spinach, but as you know, this is going to turn into like no spinach. It's just crazy how little you get after it cooks down. So I'm going to move this around a little bit. As it starts to cook, I'm going to add more until we get the entire batch of spinach into the pan. There's a lot of spinach in this pan, but as you can see, it cooked down to, it looks like 1/16 of what I put in here, but that's the nature of spinach. So now that's all about cooked down, I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Don't want to over salt. And then a little bit of pepper. Okay, I think we're good. The spinach is in its bowl resting and cooling, so we are going to make the sauce now. In this bowl, I have the mayonnaise and the Simple Truth dairy-free sour cream. And to that, I am adding some Worcestershire, tamari sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, nutritional yeast to give it that somewhat cheesy depth of flavor, a little bit of Cholula. Now, if you want a little bit more spice to your spinach dip, use more Cholula, or you can use Tabasco. Just a little bit of hot sauce is going to bring flavor, not heat, to this and add to that depth of flavor. And then my secret ingredient that I use in all my sauces, a drop of fish sauce. So I'm going to mix that together. So I'm going to add a smidgen of salt and pepper. Give it a taste, or give it a spin here, and then give it a taste. Okay, let's see. Oh, ooh, that's good. Oh my, that's good. Okay, so a note on salt in this spinach dip. If you're going to use mostly veggies to dip into your spinach dip and eat, I'd add a little bit more salt to this sauce. If you're going to use something salty, like maybe a pretzel or a piece of bread, which I love to use crostinis made from our baguettes, then I wouldn't put as much salt in there. If you're doing a combination, then you're going to want to fall somewhere in between. Definitely don't want to over salt, but I will say with veggies you need a little bit more salt in it. So you make that call yourself. You'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Okay, so we're good on the sauce. I'm going to go see if the spinach is cool enough. Then we're going to chop it up and marry the sauce to the spinach. I did not chop the spinach before we cooked it for good reason. I prefer to cook it whole. I mean, it is baby spinach, so I mean, whole is relative. So I am going to put it on this cutting board here and just give it a nice gentle chop so that the pieces of spinach aren't quite as big. And you may cut a couple pieces of carrot along the way. That will not be a problem. You can chop your spinach before you cook it up. Personal choice. I prefer it, like I said, the other way. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. And now we're going to go back in the bowl. Now it's time to add the sauce. I'm going to add a little bit at a time. You may not use all this sauce, or you may use it all. It's going to be to your taste and what consistency you want in your spinach dip. I like a medium, not too runny, not too thick, somewhere in between. And know that once you make this is the spinach is still a little warm, so it's going to look a little thinner. After you put it in the refrigerator, let the flavors meld together for a few hours. It's going to thicken up some, so just know that going in. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more. I think that'll be good. And yes, I am using a tong to mix this because it's what I had in my hand. It works. It's working great, actually. Okay, now I'm liking the ratio. I think I'm going to say I'm done. Now I have just a little bit of sauce left. I'm gonna reserve this because once I get this in the refrigerator, everything's gonna meld together. I may add some more sauce at that point, but I think I'm liking the way this looks. So now the only thing left to do is test. So I have some crostinis cut out of we made some baguettes. Basically, you cut it it's about 1/4 of an inch, and we toasted them up. It's my favorite way to eat spinach dip, so I'm just gonna put a little on here. And then I'll also be able to tell the salt level by doing this. It's terrible, I have to try like this. Oh my goodness, that is so good. It tastes all the flavors, all the ingredients. Even though it hasn't melded together, it has a wonderful depth of flavor. The texture of the veggies, the texture of the spinach is just absolutely wonderful. Now, I will say it does need some salt. Okay, added a little salt. I'm going to try it with carrot now. Oh my goodness, that's so good. I think my salt level is really wonderful with both the carrots and the bread, so I'm going to call this done. And I really can't wait till it gets into the refrigerator for a couple hours. It's a long time to wait to try it again, but it's going to be so much better once all these flavors have time to get in there and mix together. So there you go, dairy-free, gluten-free spinach dip for your holiday parties, for get-togethers, for an everyday snack. I like to snack on this throughout the week when I make it. So thank you so much for watching. A link to the full recipe will be down below, or you can go to gfexplorers.com. You can find this recipe and a whole bunch more there. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. That really helps us out too. And join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/gfexplorers. And until next time, happy eating.